things are heating up here as we get a little closer to Valentine's Day. I mean, literally, too, as well, because, boy, it is going to be a warm one here today. My folks are in Phoenix, and it's only going to be 80 degrees there today, so we're going to be hotter than Phoenix.
Okay, yeah. When Evan was talking about near 90 degrees, I'm like, wait, really here right now?
Yeah, we're vying for possibly the hottest spot in the country today. So we could be seeing those temperatures, make their way to 80s as well as low 90s. There's a high in El Cajon of 89 today, so you kind of get an idea of what we're talking about. Take a look at the difference. The departure from normal, 16 degrees above average for San Diego, 18 degrees above average in Ramona, 14 in Borrego Springs. A lot of warmth to go around today. Santa Ana wind gusts returning to the forecast tonight into early tomorrow. Take a look, sunshine across the board. These types of temperatures are going to stick around all the way through the rest of the week. It's not until past Valentine's Day that we see a more significant drop in temperatures and a chance for more onshore flow, cloud cover, higher relative humidity values. We'll talk in more detail about that just a few minutes out. Let's talk about what's going on in traffic this morning. There is very little to get to. No major crashes or collisions to report as we start off this 6 o'clock hour. Looks like we'll keep you up to date here this morning. And if you want the latest updates, of course, you can also head to cbs8.com/traffic. Back to you.
Evan, thank you so much. And this morning, San Diego County supervisors are pushing forward with a plan to phase out COVID mask requirements. This would be for local students. It's a plan they want to put before the state.
CBS 8's Dana Marie McNichol live outside the county administration building with a closer look at all this. My kids asked the other day, when are these masks coming off? It's been 2 years, Dana Marie.
Yeah, Eric, I mean, it's a good question, a topic that so many parents and kids have been talking about since the beginning of the pandemic. But soon masks could be a soon of the past. Now, this issue unanimously was voted on in support by the county supervisors. Now, they're saying that it's time because now a vaccine has been approved for kids. Now, at the Board of Supervisors, they unanimously voted to ask the State Department of Public Health for a safe and responsible path to going mask-free in schools. Now, some San Diego parents we spoke to are more focused on their kids learning in person and are okay with masks. Others are excited to hear this push for no masks, sharing that their child is missing out on more learning by messing with their masks in class and actual learning. Now, we did speak to Dr. Janine Noble. She's the director of COVID response for the UCSF Emergency Department. She says that masks are setting back students socially, emotionally, and academically, and that there are no high-quality research studies demonstrating that kids wearing masks in schools actually reduces COVID transmission. But that learning loss caused by mask wearing has been well documented. Here's what she had to say.
Our most vulnerable kids are English language learners, and kids with speech challenges are really detrimentally impacted by continued masking, and it puts kids who are already at a disadvantage further behind.
Now, we do want to note that the CDC director does say that she thinks it's too early to lift mask mandates because rates in some areas of hospitalizations are still very high. Now, for California, Governor Gavin Newsom says that he will lift that indoor mask mandate for vaccinated people starting February 15th. Now, for the State Department of Health, it's unclear if or when they will lift this mask mandate for kids in schools. Of course, this is just the County Board of Supervisors asking the State Department to consider it. Live in San Diego, I'm Dana Marie McNichol for CBS 8. I'll send it back to you.
Dana Marie, thank you so much for that update. There may be soon another way to help young children fight coronavirus. Pfizer says it'll study its COVID pill in kids as young as 6 years old. This drug called Paxlovid is currently authorized by the FDA to treat high-risk people 12 and older who have tested positive for the virus. It is available right now by prescription only.
A man accused of a standoff in Rancho Bernardo is due in court for the first time here today. Ivan Rubalcava is scheduled for an arraignment this afternoon. The SWAT standoff happened Saturday at a home on Robinia Court after reports of a man shooting a gun inside of his garage. Rubalcava faces multiple charges, including child cruelty and assault with a firearm. And a man accused in the death of a Cathedral Catholic high school teacher could find out if his trial will move forward today. Jesse Alvarez is accused of killing his ex-girlfriend's fiancé by shooting him outside his North Park home in February of last year. Alvarez has pleaded not guilty to murder. This morning, the rules for local street vendors are up for debate.
A new proposal looks to change when and where vendors can operate, and a city council committee will take this up here today. CBS 8's Chris Groh joining us live in Ocean Beach to explain kind of the back and forth here. Businesses, vendors, what are they trying to come up with now, Chris?
Well, they're trying to come up with a way that you can allow for vendors to operate, because it has turned into what is essentially called a little bit of a micro economy, especially during the pandemic. A lot of people out of work and then turning to street vending as a way to make ends meet. But at the same time, it is operating in places in which there is busy thoroughfare, or maybe also brick and mortar businesses that don't want to see some of maybe their customers going to street vendors. So there are a lot of parties here to try to make happy, and the idea is that this ordinance will be able to sort of bridge the gaps there, if you will. Now, as for the proposal, let's go through and break down all of these key parts here. This proposal would enact licensing, permitting, and health standards for all vendors in the city. It includes the partial bans in certain areas at certain times of the year, like Little Italy, the Gaslamp District, or some beaches during the summer. Complete bans could take place at Sunset Cliffs, here at the Ocean Beach Pier, or Crystal Pier in Pacific Beach, and most city bike paths. However, it also creates entrepreneur zones that encourages vendors with potential financial aid. Now, this is something that is going to committee today, so that'll be happening later on today. That is something that individual group will take up before it can go to a full city council vote. But again, this is something that the city has been aiming to do for quite some time right now, so it is worth paying attention to, especially even after if it does pass the committee today, because this is something, again, that would impact a number of people, especially those who you may be used to seeing here on, especially down underneath the Ocean Beach Pier. Could no longer be there if potentially this passes. They might be somewhere else. Eric and Netta.
Chris Groh, we will stay on top of that. Thank you so much. And we are staying on top of this. Those high SDGE bills in today's amped up coverage. We're hearing from an Oceanside woman who received an alarming bill after returning from a 6-week vacation. Julie Bannon is a widow on a fixed income who receives a discount on her bill. It's usually about $70, but this time it was $115, even though nobody was home. The utility sent a tech over to check her meters and check for gas leaks, but they didn't find anything wrong.
I'm just not using any power whatsoever. As they say in England, I was totally gobsmacked. Frustrating, stressful, and you don't know what to do next.
Yeah, frustrating for sure. So SDGE declined our request for an interview yet again, but said they did not find any inaccuracies in Bannon's bill. We have now learned the CEO of Sempra Energy, Jeffrey Martin, who you see right there, made over $23 million in annual compensation in 2020. Sempra is the parent company of SDGE, and SDGE's most recent compensation filing has names redacted, but says its highest paid executive officer made $10 million in 2020. SDGE CEO is Carolyn Wynn. If you'd like to reach out to those executives, we have their email addresses at cbs8.com. You can just click on this story. Let them know your thoughts. You can send SDGE any feedback about your high bills. Just text the word amped right there to that number, 858-571-8888, and it'll send you straight to the forum. You will also get links back to the stories that we've done about these recent rate hikes.
As costly as it is to turn on the AC, that might have to be an option for some folks today.
Yeah, and I mean, you think about the number of people who probably will be turning on the AC, and as they do so, thinking about how much higher those rates are going to be going into now the month of February, a month where you would normally never need to turn on that AC because we're used to mid-60s. Average is 66 degrees. Our forecast high for today, 82 degrees. And notice, that is 1 degree away from record territory. Record high for today, 2016 was when it was set. 83 degrees. That means if we beat our forecast model by 1 degree, we will match it. If we beat the forecast model by 2 degrees, we will break a new record for the day. That is the new daily record if that comes to fruition. Average rainfall for just the month of February so far would be well over ½ an inch. Instead, we've seen nothing. We have nothing in the forecast for the rest of this week in terms of precipitation. By the time we get into early and middle portion of next week, that's when we start to see some changes that could lead to Just a bit of wet weather moving our way. It looks like that onshore flow is going to start to take shape again, and we'll see those temperatures decline moving into about Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. Here is your forecast for your inland valleys. Very minor day-to-day fluctuations in terms of those highs, mainly in the low and mid 80s all the way through the week into the weekend. Super Bowl Sunday is going to be a warm one out there. Make sure you've got the water on hand, the bucket hat, especially if you're going to be spending time outside in the sun. Heat advisory is taking effect at 11 a.m. today, continuing all the way through Sunday. So this is a long-lasting heat advisory all the way through Orange County, LA County, Riverside County, widespread 80 and low 90-degree temperatures. For us in San Diego County, we could hit 89 degrees in El Cajon, so that brings us the closest to 90. For us, a wind advisory takes effect at 10 p.m. tonight and then expires at 4 p.m. on Thursday. That means those Santa Anas are back in play here, and we'll see those dry conditions outside, low relative humidity values, very breezy over the mountaintops and San Diego County valleys as well. Here are where those wind gusts are as we speak. I mean, Booker Hill right now is at 45-mile-per-hour gusts, 23 in Alpine, 17 at Mount Laguna, 20 in Julian, and Mount Laguna just jumped up to 26. So you see how breezy it is as we start off your Wednesday, only going to increase into the rest of the day. And then by the time we get into Thursday morning, tomorrow morning or so, we'll see these wind speeds hit their peak before dying down from there. As far as traffic goes, there is very little to mention this morning. We have no major crashes or collisions as we head through now this 6 o'clock hour. We will keep you up to date here, but right now you got a lot of green on the screen. Should be able to head out at your normal speed.